Hello, everybody. Good evening, teachers, students, mentors. Hope you all are enjoying your Tinkerpreneur journey. Today, we are at the digital skilling session number 4. And yes, we have opened the digital skills from 16 to 20 in the Tinkerpreneur portal as well. Do welcome the Tinker Champs for today, Rija, Sagir, Dikshita, and Nitish. This is a very special session, the last of the digital skillings, but you all gonna enjoy too much for this session because this is not only about the presentations and telling you what needs to be done. They will be just giving you the live demos on AI powered comic books, how to create your own deck, etc., etc. We do hope that all of you are religiously doing your assignments, quizzes, submissions, mentoring sessions, etc., and enjoying your Tinkerpreneur journey as well. So, without further ado, let me hand over to Rija, who will just start this digital skilling session 4. Over to you, Rija.
Hello everyone, I'm Tinkerchamp Teja Sagir from class 9, Air Force School Hebal. I've taken part in many ATL activities and I won second place in Tinkerpreneur 2023 and I've also conducted a digital skilling boot camp this April. Thumbs up in the chat if you attended the last Tinkerpreneur session. We learned how to build a chatbot, talk to GPT, create a computer game and 3D model, and we built a mobile app too, right? So in today's session, my friend Dikshita and Nitisha will be demonstrating an AI-powered comic book, presentation deck, and augmented reality. Say hi, Dikshita and Nitish. Please introduce
Hello
yourselves.
everyone.
And today I'll be demonstrating two digital skills. First being Arduino circuit and the second one being a Python program. So first, what is the Arduino? It is an open source electronics platform which has easy to use hardware and software. The component that will be the star of today's show is our Arduino board. So Arduino boards are able to read inputs like light on a sensor, a finger on a button, or a Twitter message and turn it into an output, activating a motor, turning on an LED, publishing something online. They consist of a microcontroller, which is a small computer on a single integrated circuit, along with input and output pins for connecting to other devices or sensors. Arduino boards are widely used by hobbyists, students, and professionals for a variety of projects, from simple LED blinking to complex robotics. They are known for their easy use, great community support, and compatibility with a wide range of sensors and modules. Think about it. Can you come up with any ways to make a fire alarm with Arduino or a buzzer with Arduino which reacts to any motion? So now I'll be labeling some parts of the Arduino board and explaining the features of them. I'll share my screen to you guys. Okay. So I hope you all can see my screen. Yes, Dikshita and Nitish?
Yes,
you see it?
Rija, yes.
Yes, it is visible.
Okay. Yes, everyone. So over here we have our digital pins. Okay, these are used for input and output. Okay. And then we have a reset switch over here, which has the same effect as disconnecting and reconnecting the power supply. Then we have your barrel jack, used to connect external power supplies. And then here's your USB. It is the cable connection to a computer, which allows you to program the board. Okay, so first, in our session today, we have our simple circuit where the LED flickers every 1 second. So I want you to follow the steps with me. First, I'll simulate it so that you can see how it works. Yes, so you can see the LED is flickering every 1 second. Okay, so let's start. So first, you have to open tinkercad.com on your web browser and set up your account. Then select circuits from the menu and click on create new circuit. Then select all from the components. Here, select all to see all of the components available in Tinkercad. Now, you have to click and drag you have to click and drag the Arduino Uno R3 over here. And then we'll drag an LED over here. Then, on the left, you have the cathode. And on the right, you have the anode. So we'll take our cathode and connect it to the GND pin. Then we'll take our anode and connect it to the pin 13 over here, which is right next to it. And then we'll take a resistor, which is over here. We'll take a resistor and put it over here. Then we'll start simulating it again. Yes, see, it is working over here. Okay, now I'll tell you the importance of simulating a circuit. Why did I simulate the circuit? What is the need? It is necessary to simulate your circuits for testing and debugging purposes before you make them physically, so that there are less errors and you have a better experience with your circuits. Now, next for our second circuit. This is a PIR sensor, basically a motion sensor. I'll show you how it works. Yes. So when I click on the PIR sensor, there is this object over here, which I can move. And if it is inside a set radius of the motion sensor, the PIR sensor, the LED over here flickers. But when I take it away, it stops flickering. So we're going to create this as well. I'll stop the simulation. So as we did before, we drag our Arduino Uno R3 again and take an LED. And you can also set the components to all again. Now take your cathode, which is the left one, and connect it to the GND pin over here. And then take your anode and connect it to the pin number 12 over here. And then you can drag your PIR sensor, which will find an input over here. Okay. Now your PIR sensor actually has 3 pins. First one being signal pin, then power pin, and then lastly your ground pin. So we'll take the signal pin and connect it to the second D2 over here. And then we'll take our power pin and connect it to 5V of this over here. I'll zoom it up. And then we'll take our ground pin and connect it to the second GND pin from here. And yes, our circuit is complete. So now some tips I would like to give to beginners on Tinkercad. Start with simple projects, understand sensor and actuator specifications, organize the components neatly, and don't do a lot of complex wiring. Additionally, you should also regularly save your circuits to avoid losing your progress, because that happened to me a lot until I started doing this. Explore tutorials and community forums for help, and experiment with different configurations to enhance your learning. Okay, now can you name some places where this circuit can be incorporated? You can list it down in the chart. Okay, so now over to our next topic. Which is Python programming. So Python programming is a high-level programming language which is used for developing websites and software applications, task automation, data analysis and visualization, etc. And I really love how so many people make games on Python, okay? And a lot of accountants and scientists also use Python programming because of the mathematical accuracy it has. So for practicing this, you can just open uh, any Python compiler, or just search up Open Python compiler on your web browser and use any of the result websites that come up. But I'm using Visual Studio Code, and I would recommend it to you as well. It has more features, and I love the user interface. So for the first one, which will be our alarm clock, our easy alarm clock, this is easier than the calculator. So I'll be showing this to you first. So, okay, I'll scroll up. I'll show you how it looks. So our alarm clock, over here you can put the hour, minute and second, and then set the alarm. Okay, so now I'll explain the code to you. So you have this import command over here, which takes all the necessary data from the tkinter library, And then you have import date and time over here, which is obviously needed for an alarm clock, right? And then the wind sound over here, it is basically the sound which rings when the time goes off. Okay, now I'll show you something fun. Uh, as you can see this, you can see the size of the alarm clock right now. And now I can increase this and decrease this. Oh, no. 1 second, give me a second. Okay, so you can actually change the size from here. I'll change this from 400 into 200x to 600 by 800. And let's run and see how it looks. This is, yeah. And you can see it just changes side drastically. Okay, now we also have your input commands, and which we can take and then the submit button, you have to submit the date and time which you have to give for the alarm to ring, right? And then the last one is the main loop, which is used to loop the entire program so that you can set your alarm again and again. And now for our second program, calculator, I'll just run it for you. Okay, as you can see, we have a calculator over here and it is really pretty with a lot of colors. Now I'll just show you how it works. -5 and you get the answer 5.5 and it is very accurate. Okay, so now I'm just going to skim through this and you have the same import from before, the Tinkerpreneur import, and here the UI design, which is the user interface design, and it is a design of interfaces for machines and software such as computers, home appliances, mobile devices, and other electronic devices, which improves the usability and the user experience. It is basically when an app is simple enough to use, but it is pretty enough to catch your eye. And you have a lot of features over here as well. See, for example, if I want to clear the entire screen, I go to AC. But if I just want to clear or just go backspace, I can just click on C. And this calculator actually took me 17 different 17 different versions to make. And you can see how important UI design is, because this one you can see it is perfect, but the previous ones had some issues. For some, it didn't have the decimal points over here. Some didn't have the AC button. Some only had C. So UI design is very important. Now, some tips I would like to give to beginners on Python. Personally, I feel like starting with simple projects like building basic scripts or simple applications, practice regularly, okay? And then explore online resources such as tutorials, documentation, and forums while attending Python coding classes if you can, and it is very beneficial. Self-learning is also pretty good if you have the dedication and persistence. I learned Python in a huge rush, and I wish I followed these tips when I was starting out. So things could be easier because I was a beginner and I was handling big programs without good knowledge, which is not a good thing to do. So learn from my mistakes and start out better than me. Now, the key features of the alarm clock and the calculator applications are the interfaces, as I said before, for setting alarms and performing calculations respectively. As this is just a small program, it has some limitations and shortcomings which I want you tinkerers to improve. These limitations can be the lack of advanced features or scalability, depending on how complex applications are here. So, wrapping up this session, I would like to ask you all about the ways these digital skills I told you about can be used. You can list them in the chat. Please send your wonderful creations to my mail. Thank you, everyone. And next, I would like to hand it over to Dikshita.
Thank you, Raja Sagar. I hope my voice is clear.
Yes, we can hear you.
Thank you, Raja. Hello, everyone. This is K. Dikshita, a 8th grader from Nagarjuna Model School, Kadapa, Andhra Pradesh. You'll often find me in the corridors of creativity, imagination, and passion for story writing. Today, I'm here to share with you about one of my recent adventures of exploring the world of comics. I hope you're super excited just like me. Let's get started. Firstly, let me show you what are comics. Comics are mediums to express ourselves with images often combined with text and other visual information. As we all know, stories are the best ways to express ourselves. And I say comics are the best ways to express a story. Do you all know why? I want you all to answer in the chat box. Now let me answer. Often there is a barrier between what author wants readers to imagine and what readers actually imagine. And comics are the barrier breakers. Comics often provide readers a wider scope of what they can start with imagining. Therefore, comics are the barrier breakers and provide a better connection between the reader and the author. Now, let me show you the types of comics for your better references. The types of comics could be separated in various forms. But today, let us know the types of comics based on content and the types of comics based on illustration. Let's get started. Firstly, let me share you the types of comics based on content. As we all know, stories are a vast empire and the content in the story also varies in various forms. Therefore, the types of comics based on content also vary in various forms. But majorly what we come across is horror, thriller, suspense, comedy, etc. etc. But what I love the most is the change-making comics and also life lesson comics. And now, let us know the types of comics based on illustration. A comic could be illustrated in various forms, but mostly what illustrators prefer is traditional speech bubble comic and the narrative caption comic. Traditional speech bubble comic is where the comics will have images that have ovals having tails pointing towards some character in the image. And these ovals bear words that are the dialogues of some character. And you know why this traditional speech bubble comic is important? It is because often when we read stories, we'll get distracted as we don't understand who is speaking what, the characters. And when we illustrate using the traditional speech bubbles, it will be very clear for your audience to understand who is speaking what. It will make your audience, your readers, to connect more efficiently with you. And here comes the next thing, that is the narrative caption comics. Narrative caption comics, the title itself says everything. Like narrative caption comics are the comics which have images and captions below it. Like there will be a clear, crisp, and detailed caption about the image that is happening above the text. Like when your audience look at the image and then read the text that is in the bottom, they'll get to know, oh, this is what happening in the image. Oh, and it even provides a wider scope for your readers to what to start with imagining. And this is the best ways your audience can connect to you. Now, let me show you few of my comics for your better understanding. I hope you all are able to see my screen, Vijay and Nitish.
Yes, it is visible, Deekshita.
I can see it.
Okay, thank you. Kashmiri Sibling Diaries. This is my very first publication of a comic, and this comic is all about two siblings, Alekia and Soumya, and this book consists all about their experience. And here what you're actually seeing on my screen is the cover page of my comic. In the cover page, you can see the title of my comic in a very big font and also my school logo. And I have a very important note for you all. Make sure your cover page is really attractive and eye-catchy for your audience, because first impression marks the best mark, you know. First impression is the best impression. So make sure your cover page is so attractive. Here you can see some clouds and there is a very good color combination between that pink and this purple. And you can also see the font that I've used for my title is even matching with the background. You can see some stars, you can see some birds. Make sure it impresses you and also your audience. And Here comes the second page of my comic. That is, here it contains some information about the illustrator and narrator. This book was illustrated by myself, K. Dikshita, and narrated by one of my friends, P. Meenakshi. And then comes the foreword of the book. And here comes the first content page of my comic. Content page is nothing but where the story actually starts from. Like the first pages were cover pages, forward, etc. etc. And where the story is starting from the first content page, like what you're seeing. Like whether it is a story, an article, or a comic, make sure you first give your audience information about the setting and the characters. Like I have given here. Hello, I'm Alekia. Hi, I'm Soumya. I hope you all understood that this is a traditional speech bubble comic. As you can see images that are having ovals pointing, that have tails pointing towards some character, and these ovals are bearing the dialogues of the character. Right? I hope you all understood that that this is a traditional speech bubble comic. And down you can also see we are siblings. This is like a caption, right? This is not in speech bubble or anything else. This is like a caption in a box in the bottom of the images. So this is also a narrative caption comic. My Kashmiri Sibling Diaries comic is both traditional speech bubble comic and also narrative caption comic. And I'm done with giving introduction about the characters. I've given what are the names and also what is the relation between those two characters. And then as I already told you, I have given the introduction for the setting where all this is happening. This will all be happening in the Kashmir as you understood after reading the title of the comic. Like you can see two girls holding their hands and in some mountains. Like we together went to Kashmir and we are here to share our experience. And I have given a glimpse. Like now let us see the Alekia's experience. First comes Alekia, and here you can see Kashmiri mountains are paradises of earth. This is written in traditional speech bubble, and this is pointing Alekia. Make sure there is a very good connection between the images you use and the speech bubbles in your comic. There should be a very good cooperation between the images you use and the words text you use in the speech bubbles or the captions, because the most important part of a comic will be the images speak in a comic, so make sure you maintain the cooperation between them. Here you can see the text saying the Kashmiri mountains are paradises of earth, which means the mountains are extremely beautiful. And you can see a girl standing in between the beautiful snowy mountains in the image. So there is a good cooperation between the image and the text. So maintain that. Why I'm noting this more frequent, because when there is some glitch between the text you use and the image you keep, your audience will feel distracted. So I really urge you to not make your audience feel disconnected. Okay? And down you can see Amber of words. This says she is extremely satisfied, like how beautiful the Kashmir is. And the images even show the beautiful mountains of Kashmir. And then we have such a magnificent lake. And you can see Alekia, a girl standing in the mountain, in a lake between the mountains. And make sure that the images you use are also catchy, because as I already told you, the images speak. Then she also given where she went, like a market, like a Mughal garden, and she also stays the special apples of Kashmir. And she also noted the outfits and tradition of the Kashmiri people. And finally, she says it was a happy place. And here you can see I've given a caption. Now let us see Soumya's experience. Here you can see this place is extremely crowded. She's saying, and you can see her face is so annoyed, and she's between so crowdy place. She's in very crowdy place. And then you can see an image, a girl wearing so many sweaters with an annoyed face in a very snowy climate. And she's saying, it is so cool. I would like to leave this place immediately. And It contains more about her experience, and finally she says, I did not like Kashmir, with her dissatisfied and unhappy face. And finally, I hope you are partially clear that this is a life lesson in comic. As you can see, like, it is not about place, it is about being positive. Often in the life lesson comics, make sure you pass a lesson or message or a note for your audience to know. Like, after reading your comic, they have to feel, oh, I have to change this in myself. Oh, how good this comic is. It has given me some lesson to learn. And your audience has to feel that. And in the last page, I've given a very big message, quote, or lesson for my audience. Like, always enjoy every moment. Your attitude, not your aptitude, will determine your altitude. And here is the summary page of my comic, Kashmiri Sibling Diaries. Two siblings named Alekia and Soumya went to Kashmir for a trip. Alekia enjoys everything, but Soumya don't like anything in Kashmir. Concluding that it is not about place and it is about being positive in you. And I also used my school logo and a copyright symbol. This is all about my first comic. And here comes my first change making comic. This is very similar to Kashmiri Sibling Diary, as it is both traditional speech bubble comic and a narrative caption comic. As similar to the Kashmiri Sibling Diaries, here you can see the title of my comic burst into tears in a very big font, and also logo of my school. This comic is all about a change maker, a very young change maker named Tulsi, and it's all about how she found out the problem of her mother earth and the surroundings of her, and how she solves it with her team. And in the second page, here comes some information about the illustrator and narrator. This book is illustrated and narrated by myself, Keti Kshita. And here comes the foreword of my comic. And here comes, as I already told you in the first content pages of the comic, introduce yourself. Hello, I'm Tulsi. And then I've given introduction for the side characters and also the setting. I went to hospital for checkup with my mom. There I saw a sad couple. Then a nurse told me that their baby has some disease due to plastic pollution. Then I burst into tears. Often there is some situation where the main role bursts into tears, cries, feels sad, etc., etc. And there will be some side role, not just comics, but also animes, stories, movies, etc., etc. In change making ones, we'll often have some side role which motivates the main heroic role. And here the side role is my mom. When I was crying, my mom came to me and she told me, change makers won't cry, they find solutions. Some heroic dialogues in the change making comics they pick the most. These are the most important thing in a change making comic, the words and even the dialogues. And then the main lead, after listening to motivation given by the side role, she stops crying. She feels inspired and determined. Then here comes the journey of uh, my change making journey, where I will be thinking like, who could help me? Then not just passion, perseverance, determination are important in change making comics, but also teamwork is very, very important in the change making comics. Here you can see I took help of my friends and Funny Sir and started our journey. And we did not know where to start, how to start, and when to start. And here again comes the journey. We started surveying people, we conducted a lot of researches, but still we were clueless. And again comes some heroic dialogue. We were helpless but not hopeless. And again, some side character will motivate us as usual. And Fanindra sir encouraged us. Then, in our research, we have found that plastic bottles are the largest source of plastic waste. And here comes the solution of the problem. Like, we turn the plastic waste into decor items, household products, etc., etc. Change makers are not just the one who make change, but also change makers are the one who make other change makers. And here you can see Tulsi as a change maker is giving seminars on awareness of plastic pollution for other young change makers. And here comes the celebration. On the school day, Tulsi and her friends were called upon to the stage and told about her journey, and they were appreciated by their whole school. And like life lesson comics, in the change making comics, the last words, the last inspiring words from the main character depict the most on the audience or readers. I would tell you one thing: being helpless leads you somewhere helpful, but being hopeless leaves you aimless. These words, these final dialogues, the final inspiring words depict the most, guys. Please remember. And finally, here comes the concluding page of my comic. This is a story about a young achiever named Tulsi. She understood a big problem, and with her team, she has solved the problem and inspired many others. And here comes the third comic that I wanted to share with you all, that is Seeds of Change, Innovating for a Better Future by Satvika Nemani. Like, when I got to know about this comic, when I first opened the e-comic, I was amused. These cover pages were extremely beautiful. Not just like a comic maker, but still like an audience and like a reader. I say the cover pages depict the most on the audience. Like, as the audience, as the reader of Satvika Naimani's Sheets of Change Innovating for a Better Future book, I really loved the cover page and I was so enthusiastic to read the next pages, to read the comic. Here comes the forward of the comic. Within the pages of this book, you will experience the change-making odyssey of Harsh, an agricultural student who sets out to build an app for educate farmers on the modern agricultural techniques and tools. And I hope it is clear for you, like you understood that this is a change making comic after reading the title, tagline, and the foreword. Seeds of Change. After reading the title, I hope you understood that this is something related to change making. I'm sure that you all understood that this is a change making comic. Let's go forward. Here comes the first content page of the comic. I really loved it, guys. The way she introduced the character, his livelihood, his hobbies, etc., etc., just left me awestruck. Harsh was a student living in a village amidst thick cover of greenery. The village gave off a scent of tranquility. Harsh was pursuing a major in agriculture, which was a field he displayed great passion in, but also showed interest in building of applications and technology. Like here, you can see in the first line, she told that Harsh is a student living in a place containing so much greenery, and the images were filled with greenery. And it also shows his hobbies and what he does. He's really a student of agriculture, and he loves showing passion in the agricultural field, and also he's very good in creating applications and the fields of technology. And here comes where the Harsh identifies the problem, like the farmers are unable to use the modern farming techniques and sustaining the farming practices. And then here comes all of his journey, like how he solves this and what app he uses, how he develops the app, etc., etc., how he finds a solution. And he uses MIT app developer for finding solution for this problem. And here, as I already told you, he also depicted teamwork by asking help from his classmates. And also, then finally, he shared his journey as a change maker and a social entrepreneur on public events and spread his message of change making. And he is making young change makers, guys. And this is the last and best comic that I wanted to show you all, Turning Tides by Satvika Nemani. Here you can see the cover page of the comic, which is quite fascinating. Here you can see a river or something like a sea, and the blue clouds, the stars, the blue sky, and some hometown where there are so many houses. I love the cover page. Then here comes the forward of the book. This is a story of a young student who felt the need to change the situation of her surroundings, and she did so. The journey of Sita as a young change maker. And here it gives the introduction about where she lives, the setting, and also the character. Sita was a student with a bright spirit. She deeply believed in the words of Gandhi that be the change you wish to see in the world. Like as I already told you in the change making comics, the dialogues, the motivation speeches or the motivation dialogues, they pick the most. And then she finds a problem that her friend is having some health issue due to the high pollution in the Delhi, and she also comes to know this is due to carbon monoxide. And she finally with her friends depicting teamwork finally finds a solution, and finally she shared her story with people around her city and started doing change making activities on a large scale. The young change maker did something really great, and this comic made me know that it's not about age, it's about the determination, perseverance you have. I hope you all found all these comics interesting, and I hope you also like the my comics and Satvika Namani's comics. And I hope few of you are really interested to make comics like me and Satvika Namani. And I hope you also found it quite interesting. Do you all are you not really enthusiastic to know how I made this comics? I made this comics using Pixton and Canva. If you're really enthusiastic, go to the self portal, explore and learn more. Thank you everyone. Over to Nitish Garg.
Thank you, Dikshita. Is my voice audible?
Yes, Nitish.
Yes, Dikshita, you can unshare your screen.
I'm sorry, Nitish.
Yes. Thank you, Dikshita. Greetings, everyone. Have we all? I'm Nitish Garg of Class 8 from ML Khanna DB Public School, Dwarka. We all become fascinated and amused by today's digital technologies, and augmented reality experience is one of them. AR experience or a augmented reality experience is an interactive experience in which a digital image or a digital tool comes superimposed on any real world view, which will make it a composite view. In simple words, a digital button, a digital image will come in your real view world, and you can see that digital world with your real world. Isn't that fascinating? Let me show you a few examples which will make it clear. Is my screen visible?
Yes, Nitish.
Yes. So this is the first AR AR poster which I have made, which has a QR code and the topic entrepreneurship. So I will just scan the QR code here. I will open the link, and as you can see here, a augmented reality experience has opened, which is powered by Zapper, as I have made this AR experience using Zapworks. Now I have to click on this launch button, and here the poster which I showed to you is the target image. And I have to show you show the webcam the target image by which you can see the real magic. So just a second, it is being loading. I have to turn off the video from WebEx. Yes. So I will show my poster here, which is the target image. And did you see that the image which was there, a button appeared on that which says check blog. So now if I will click on this button, this will open me the web page which I have entered in it. Isn't that amazing? Let us see another example. Here is another poster which has a astronaut in the space. Let me scan the QR code which is present in it. Now, as you can see here as well, an augmented reality experience has opened up, again asking for launch and granting the access. Now, I will show my the target image here, and again this button have come. So in the previous example, you have seen how we can go to a web page or a page directly through a AR experience. And now you will see that we can even incorporate media inside AR experiences. As it says, listen me, I'm clicking on this button. So were you able to hear a sound, a type of sound? Was that audible?
Yes, Nitish, that was audible.
Yes. So in this way, you can even incorporate media like this, audio, video, and images to your augmented reality experiences. Let's see a final example of it. This is a poster. I have put the QR code in it and I'm currently opening it. I will click the launch, and again I have to put my target image in this. And now I can even incorporate some websites like in this Tinkerpreneur, you will be learning about entrepreneurship. So you can even promote your brand according to this. Like now it says visit site. Now when I will click on this, the website which I have entered will automatically come. So in this way, an augmented reality experience works. But how do it help and what are the benefits? Can you tell me that? You can type your answers in the chat. So in this way, the augmented reality experiences will work in many ways. Like there are some history lessons, like what happened at that moment and what were these inscriptions, these different languages used as that time. We cannot see them in front of us eyes right now. But this AR experiences can be used in that case. Like you have an inscription and you feed your AR experience to that data, that whenever this will be scanned, it will take us towards a content depth, which will be telling about this inscription and telling about that era. In this way, we can, as students, learn different things very easily. These assess this history topics, which many students find just a story and not able to know about them, can be just kept by learning and doing this AR experiences. So uh, many of you guessed it right in the chat window. We can learn many different concepts from this AR experience. Now let us move towards a different topic. Uh, Most of us generate a PowerPoint slide deck on a regular basis, whether it be a school task or different pitching, which you will be doing in this boot camp. We many a time make slide decks and PowerPoint presentations. But can you imagine of creating high and complex PPTs in just 2-3 minutes? But that is the future. We can even create complex PPTs in just 2 to 3 minutes using AI. Let me show you a few examples. So can you see the screen? This is a AI generated slide deck which I have created using gamma.app. Let me present it to you. So if you create a PowerPoint presentation or a slide deck, then in the first slide, what do? You add a title, a brief introduction to it, and your name at the bottom. And in the same way, the artificial intelligence, the gamma.app has done the same. It has put the topic, importance of student entrepreneurship, a bit about entrepreneurship, which will give you a brief of what this presentation is about. Like, entrepreneurship is a transformative force that empowers students to take charge of their future and so on. And at last, AI has incorporated my name. So let us move towards the second slide. In this, there are 3 points on fostering innovation and creativity. So I have not added any topic that to AI in my prompt, like you have to cover these topics or I want these topics in my PPT. But still, this AI on my prompt and on the topic of importance of student entrepreneurship determined that what topics should be there, and it has put content according to that. Here's another slide which have 4 points. Now, it tells about developing 21st century skills and practical skills. Now, if you put these 4 points in just bullets, like first bullet, critical thinking and problem solving, then second bullet, teamwork and collaboration, then third bullet, adaptability and resilience, and fourth bullet, practical business skills, then this will be such a boring PPT. But if you put in such a way, in an interactive way, the users, they are attracted towards your PPT. Like here, AI has used instead of bullets, AI has used this grid formation where there it has used numbers as graphics in spite of bullets. Here is another slide. As you can see here, here is some content, and in every slide, AI is putting a image at the right hand side, which will articulate about the topic. Like here is enhancing employment. So here are two or three businessmen who are greeting. So in this way, AI is also articulating the topic through images. In this slide, you can see AI has used 4 topics in the vertical grid layout. First topic as relevant curriculum, then industry partnership, then startup incubators and ecosystem engagement. The topic says bridging the gap between education and entrepreneurship. And if you see the first and the fourth point, they are more towards education, and the second and the third point, they are more towards the entrepreneurship. And in the content, AI has linked education and entrepreneurship, which aligns with the topic of bridging the gap between education and entrepreneurship. Let us move towards the next slide. Yes, so in this slide, AI has used a pyramid graph for the topic, which is promoting entrepreneurial mindset. We use this pyramid graph if we need to prioritize some contents, like for entrepreneurship mindset. Firstly, you need courage, then resilience, then creativity, then adaptability, and then determination. So in this way, AI has put them in a pyramid graph so that you can know that which needs to be put at more priority. Firstly, courage, then resilience, then creativity, and so on. Next slide says change making in the society, in which not just points, not just bullet points, but AI has put some icons which will make it more interactive for the users to see. And here it is a content slide with the image and some content of building a supportive ecosystem, which was a point in the previous slide, as you saw. So these 4 slides were these 4 points which you saw here. Here you can see this relevant curriculum, industry partnership, startup incubators, and ecosystem engagement. These are the 4 points which are covered in the rest of the slide deck. And this is the second last slide in which the topic is inspiring the next generation of entrepreneurs. And for every point, there is a well articulating image on the top of it, like powerful mentorship, content below, and image above, and collaboration, ideation, pitch competitions, and celebrating success. So these are the 4 points which artificial intelligence has incorporated with image to connect to the users. And at the last, in this slide deck, AI has used a picture background, and it is telling the conclusion. In the last slide, which we make, we mostly put thank you slide or conclusion slide. And in the same way, this AI has used a conclusion slide. And the conclusion which AI derives is empowering students to succeed is embracing student entrepreneurship unlocks a world of possibilities by fostering innovation, developing essential skills, and bridging the gap between education and the real world. Universities empower students to achieve remarkable success. So as I have not edited the content yet, this is the content which AI has written. So if I want to edit it, like I do not want this second line, or I want it anything else, so I can edit it anytime on gamma.app. So this was the first slide deck which AI has created. And let me show you the other example. So this is the other slide deck which I have created using gamma.app, which says Introduction to Mars. So this is the first slide. The heading is there, Introduction to Mars. A bit information, Mars, the red planet, has long captured imagination of humankind and so on. And at last, it has automatically put my name and my this account ID, because from which email account I have used this gamma.app, it has put my image and account details from that. Slide here, you can see there is a timeline. Now, if you speak about any planet or any heavenly body, then first slide, what you put as your content slide is that what will be the what is the distance, what is the possibilities of exploring that planet or exploring that celestial body, and what is the journey to that planet. And in the same way, this AI has put the journey to Mars as the first content slide, which has a timeline. You can see this 1, 2, 3 here, which says about the launch first, then landing, and then rover operations. So this is the next slide. The first point, the first point which AI wants to cover after landing on the Mars is challenges on of living on Mars. So you can see this one because this is the first point of operation. You can see here operations which rovers will be doing. This is the first point on that. It has put 3 points here: harsh environment, lack of resources, and psychological challenges which will be faced by mankind there. Then it is habitats and settlements. Now, if you see in the every slide, at the right hand side, there is a AI generated image which connects to the content. Like here is habitats and settlements, and here is a AI generated imaginary house at Mars. So like that, AI is putting images, generating images, and putting them at the right hand side of every slide. Next is it is sustaining life on Mars. Again, despite of putting 4 bullet points, it has used 4 rectangles and putting points in them, which will make the slide deck more interactive and more attractive for the users. Next, it is resource utilization on Mars. So in this content slide, AI has put these icons for mining. They have put this icon for water harvesting, this water waves icon, and then in food manufacturing, this manufacturing icon. So that not only content but icons will be shown on the slides, and it will be looking more interactive for the users. Next is the robotic exploration on Mars slide, in which there is this image which connects to the slide, which has 3 points again, 3 timeline points again. First as the rovers, which will land and see about that, then aerial communication from that, and then what landers and probes will be doing. Then see the AI has used a banner image on top and then put its details as scientific research on Mars and the content here. And in the second last slide, as we saw in the previous slide deck, here also AI has used a pyramid graph, which is the future of human exploration on Mars as sustained presence, self-sufficiency, and scientific breakthroughs. So the most important and the most active is put on top, and the most passive is on the ground level. And the last slide says the conclusion, the importance of Mars exploration. The exploration of Mars holds immense significance for humanity, unlocking new frontiers of science discoveries, technological innovations, and the potential of human explorations beyond Earth. This is the last slide in which you can see a beautiful image which is put at the right hand side. So in this way, what will be the benefit creating AI decks, and why not making them on your own? Yes, it's so simple. Time will be saved. A lot of time will be saved in creating high-end complex slide decks. So that was all I wanted to cover today. Now I would like to hand over the session to Shubham sir.
Thank you so much, all of you, for explaining all the technical digital skills so well. We have some questions for all three of you. I will go one by one. Okay, so okay. Maybe Dikshita can answer it. Can we use comics to illustrate the story of art tinkering projects in the ATL?
Thank you, sir. Like, uh, when you're trying to illustrate your comics based on your tinkering journey or your innovation project, it looks something similar to the change making comics. First, you can introduce yourself, then you can include how you came across the problem, why you chose that problem to solve, and you can explain that. Then you can explain how your team work, how you work with your team, and you can also include the journey, your change making journey, like how you put all your effort, what all you did to make this project live into real. I hope this helps.
Yeah, this definitely helps, Dikshita. Yeah, so the answer is yes. You can use the comics to share your tinkering journey at the ATL as well. You can use different characters to show, okay, what the tinkering journey has been taken up in an ATL. I guess now the question is for Rija. Can you suggest some do's and don'ts while learning to program in Python?
Sure, I'll be happy to help with those questions. So, some do's and don'ts while learning Python. So, do start with simple projects to practice the fundamentals, and do use resources like official documentation, tutorials, and forums for help. And do break down problems into smaller parts and solve them incrementally. But don't overlook the importance of understanding data types and structures. Don't overlook it, and be sure to try to understand how each code works and not just go blindly at it. And don't skip learning about Python standard libraries and their usages.
Thank you, Rija. Uh, Next is for Nitish. Nitish, can we integrate data from external sources and present them in the form of live graphs in AI generated slides, especially when using this Gamma tool?
Yes, thank you, sir. Yes, you can do that when you enter the Gamma.app, when you give your prompt, as you will be able to see in the tutorial at the self-learning portal. There is an option that what will you use in this slide deck, the AI generated content or the search engine content, which you will find in the search engines. So when you will click on the search engine content, in that the content will be founded by AI from the search engines, where this new latest things will also be there. So in that also the images will also be not generated from AI, but real images will be used. And in that case, you can use the real data to create graphs and slides.
Okay. Thanks, Nitish. One more question, I guess, to all of you. Uh, First, Nikita, you can take this up. Can you suggest few other tools to make comics?
Yes, I think yes. Like we can use Canvas Magic Media, but it's not actually free. You have to use the paid version of Canva. And we also have Skyreel's comic AI app, which is free, and it works with AI. And there you can also work on your stories, not just on your comics, making and illustrating comics, but also you can find your story, find the better version of your story, or convert your story like from just horror genre to suspense, or you can convert into journey genres too. And you can also find some other tools on search engines, but mostly probably the best ones will be Canva, Pixel, and Skyreels.
Thank you, Dikshita. Rija, you can take up this question. Can you tell us what makes a good UI design and how to create a good UI in Python?
So a good UI design focuses on user experience and simplicity and consistency and responsiveness. To create a good UI in Python, use libraries such as Tinkerpreneur, which is the standard GUI toolkit, and then PyQt, and design clear and initiative layouts, ensure responsiveness across different screen sizes, pay attention to color schemes, fonts, and visual hierarchies, and test the usability with potential users to gather data feedback for improvements. So if you have an old person, I'm just giving an example. So if you have a old person trying to use an app, you have to make it easy for them to understand, right? You have to make your apps so that everyone can use it, not only um, people who are into the tech field, but normal people as well. So that is the code for creating good UI design in Python and in normally as well.
Okay. Last question of the day. Nitish, how is augmented reality AR experience better than the videos?
Yes, augmented reality experiences are far better than the common videos. Like someone will give you a video on a topic to understand a concept, and if someone will give you a phone and ask you to go and see and scan everything and know on your own that what is this and what is that. So which will be more interactive and practical? The second one, in which you have a AI device which can scan everything and tell you according to that. In that way, the things will be more rememberable. You can remember all the things and it will be much practical for you. So hope that helps.
Yeah, yeah. Thanks, Nitish. I guess this is it for today's session. Thank you, all three of you, Rija, Dikshita, and Nitish, for making it a wonderful session. For all the Tinkerpreneurs who are participating for this season, I would now request you all have the access to all the 20 digital skills now. And this is the time when you can think of making a digital product because soon we are going to shift from digital skills to the product skills and subsequently to the entrepreneurship skills. So stay tuned, stay calm. You still have 25 days in Kitty to produce a wonderful digital product. Okay, this is it for today. Thank you all for joining us in this wonderful session. Thank you, Tinker Champs, for being the part of this year's Tinkerpreneur 2024. That's it for today. Thank you.